What is going on? Today's project is a sucky project, but hopefully it's also a quick project because that means it went smooth. And it is this green Outback over here. I put a motor in this thing. I did a couple videos on it. And then I was trying to get the brakes. I was going to see if the brakes cleaned up themselves because they were pretty rusty. And all of a sudden, the brake pedal went to the floor. And I was like, that's not good. A brake line in the rear here rotted out. And that is what caused the brake pedal to go to the floor. So we need to repair some brake line. I've never really been a fan of doing brake lines, but today, stupid chickens. Get out of here. Get out. But I ordered a new tool. It is from Eastwood. It's their 3/16 on-car flaring tool, 3/16 double flare. I already made one, and I don't know if you have ever made flares before, but that is a perfect flare. Look at that. And that took me like 2 minutes. So not even, probably a minute. So I've got some brake line, I've got some fittings, I've got a new flare tool that hopefully does a good job. I've got a union because I believe I'll need to have a union where I'm going to be splicing into one of the brake lines. And I'm going to get this thing on the lift and explain as I go what the kind of plan is. We might have to steal some parts off of another car, but let's get this thing in here without driving through the back of the barn because the brakes don't work. Well, she fired right up, so we're good. Now let's see how this goes without any brakes. Shouldn't be too bad, it's uphill. The e-brake does work, so that'll be alright. We'll be just fine. Let me pop this thing up on the lift and I will show where the leak is. One giveaway is there's no fluid in the master cylinder, which means it went somewhere, and in this case it went on the ground. So we've got this mess right here, so you can see this one's the one that rotted out, and I tried to get it off. And I think I'm just going to replace this whole little block right here, and I might have to redo all these lines. I don't know. We'll see how that one comes out up top. But I'm going to steal it off this car over here. We've got a nice clean Florida car that was in a wreck, and we've got that beautiful thing right there. I don't know if I want to take part of the lines too. I might want to, so I don't have to do all the bending right there. I'm going to kind of steal what I want off this car. Brake lines come up right here, which I think is similar to that Outback. So I don't know, maybe I'll cut them up here a little bit, and then maybe I can just flare off this if I cut this sheathing off. I'm not really sure, but we're gonna find out. Hopefully this is a quick process and we'll be on to some cooler stuff. So here's the plan. I stole a few brake lines off of my 11 STI that I'm parting out. Here's that little, I don't know what block, the distribution block or whatever it is. These are the ones I was specifically looking for. Dude, what are you doing? So these pop up through the floor. And so instead of making my own, I'm going to thread these in, and then I will take the sheathing off, and I'll put in my flared union, I think right around here somewhere, and then we'll see what we need to do. I think this one right here might replace our other one that's leaking. I'm not exactly sure of the plan, but I'm just going to kind of wing it as I go and see what I need to replace. Hopefully it's not too many, but it's just going to be jump clips and time lapse, so I will see you in between and after those.
Dude.
This is where the Eastwood flare kit really came in handy because it's sort of tight quarters. If it was a traditional flare kit that I'm used to using, you wouldn't be able to do it very easily, and the flares probably wouldn't come out very nice. These flares came out perfect pretty much every time unless I made a mistake. Also, the reason I'm flaring right here is because the brake lines you see that run towards the front of the car, so to your left, they go all the way to the front of the car. They run through the interior, up to the engine bay, up to the ABS module. So that would be quite the process. To replace those, it was much easier to splice in and flare, and it worked perfectly fine. The tool works pretty simply. There's a certain depth that you put the brake line into, and there's a little stopper that tells you where to do that. And then there's a die that you thread in. You thread it all the way in until it's tight, and then you pull it out, flip it around, and thread it in the other way all the way until it's tight. And that is it. That makes the perfect flare. I only did a little bit of research to figure out what flare kit I should order, and pretty quickly found out it was this one, or it was to buy an expensive professional one, and I don't do brake lines very often, so this was worth it. Brakes are all bled and no leaks. I'm going to walk through here in a minute and kind of show you what I did, but everything worked out. So we took our little distribution thing right here, I'm not sure exactly what it is, from our Florida STI, and then I cut the lines up in the body. I'll show you there. They were basically the same bend. Then I also took this line right here that I'm pointing to, that one from the STI, and ran it back to right there. And then this one I had to make a custom one, went above the subframe. I still gotta tie it up yet, over and then back to there. Didn't have any leaks so far, but this was the easiest way to do it instead of replacing these two lines and the line that goes up around over the tank, because that would be an absolute nightmare. And I'll show you what I did up in here. It was easier than I thought. I would definitely get that Eastwood flare tool that made it really easy. This is where the lines from underneath pop up through, and I just put a union. Obviously I use the Eastwood flare here also. Worked really well. So I'm going to put this all back together, and we already bled the brakes. I put new brakes on it. Everything seems to be holding pressure. No leaks. The pedal stays nice and solid. So I'm going to, like I said, clean up all my tools, put the seat back in. We'll take it for a spin, and hopefully everything's fixed. I already have 3 people, I think, in line for this car, so it should be sold already. I was thinking about keeping it, but I have enough cars, not another car I need to keep to ensure. Thankfully, our Outback is now done. New brakes are on. There's no leaks in the brake lines that I repaired. The pedal's nice and solid. Now I have a few more things to do on this. I got tires to do, and I've got an exhaust to put on it, but I don't have either of those right now, so we're not going to do that. Then my next plan was I was either going to bring my black STI up here to my parents to pull the motor on it. I'll pop a picture of that one. Or the other thing I was going to do was pull the rest of the parts off that and take it to the scrapyard. But in order to do both those things, I need this trailer. And let's see if I can get a good shot here. You can see right there. I'll pop up the video I took, but that cat had her kittens. She's obviously been pregnant for a little bit. Had her kittens, and they're chilling out underneath there. And we're not gonna move the trailer right now, so I gotta find something else to do. And I'm not really sure exactly what that's going to be. I do have to change the oil on my 2019 STI, which is up at my house, so I might go swap that one for my 2019 up at the house. I'd like to take this guy into the barn and take a look at him, but that's going to be its own video. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get my 2019 STI, and I'm going to get the oil changed on that. And I've got a few little more things to do. That is the one I have for sale. So if you're interested in a 2019 STI, feel free to shoot me a message. This is my 2019 STI. I bought this thing, I don't know how long ago. Put a motor in it. Obviously, I bought it with a blown motor like I typically do. Put a new short block, new heads, new turbo, all that sort of stuff. And I drove it for the summer. It was a very nice daily driver. And I'd love to keep it. I technically could, but I've got my 17, the Wu-Tang car that I'm keeping. There's another car I'd like to buy that I'd like to keep. I've got my truck. My fiance has her car. We've just got too much stuff. So this one is up for sale if you're interested. It's completely stock. I think it's got about 5,500 miles on the motor, and I don't really drive it much anymore. I am going to be driving to my wedding, which is in 4 days, or it's Monday right now. The wedding is on Friday, so I figured I'd drive the nicer of the bunch to the wedding. but I'm going to change oil on it, hopefully for the last time today. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's got about 74,000 miles, nice and clean on the inside, unmodified, perfect for somebody to do what they'd like with it. So let's change the oil. I got to take some underbody videos to send to people when I list this thing for sale again. Yeah, I think that is about it. This car is so nice and clean underneath. Of course, got the OEM under tray. I'm a big fan of OEM under trays. Let me pop this thing off, get some videos of the underside of the motor, and we'll drain the oil. This guy is ready to go for the wedding. Oil's all changed, and then hopefully after the wedding I can sell it fairly quickly. I haven't had too much luck. I must have it listed a little bit too high, but our daily driver currently, the Wu-Tang STI. If you've missed those videos, check them out. If you've missed videos on our lifted STI, check those out as well. We've got plans for these two over here. I have videos on those as well. If you are new to the channel and you're not subscribed, I appreciate you watching. If you could subscribe, like the video, it would help me out a ton. Why does it do that? The heck? Anyway, if you could subscribe, like the video, it helps me out a ton. I've got more videos coming. Sorry, this is a little bit more of a boring one, a little bit of a quick one. We've got more exciting stuff coming in the next videos. I'm starting that next video today. Hope you guys are getting your projects done. I'm getting married in 4 days, so you'll probably only see one video before then, which is this one. But I hope to see you after my wedding and in the next video.